do a demo. $2.99. Hey. I've got at least two numbers to keep track of now. There's one that goes up and there's one that goes down. Let me explain that. But first I gotta turn off the lights. They're really way too much. Alright, the old number that always goes up by 1 each day is the progress every day number, which is just, if you see where I'm looking up above, it says PED 309 up at the top. That's the number of consecutive days in a row that I've made progress on the game. Not just worked on it, not just expended effort, but actually moved something forward so I can say that the game is in a better state, closer to the finish line of getting it released than before. As a new number, the new number is a countdown to the release date, which is going to be January 1st, 2022. Yesterday, that number was 300. Today, it's 299. So yeah, it's going to happen. And I've been getting real serious about different things. My demos are going to start sucking a little bit. And the reason is that the tasks that I'm engaged in have changed a little bit, and they're not as much development tasks. I'll give you an idea. So today I went to my website and it said this: please note, C-Space Labs is no longer in business and we're not offering products or services. This is the contact page that I had linked in my Steam profile, which I'm working through. That's a whole thing, by the way. It takes a while to get together. So I changed this so that it actually looks like somebody's home. Although this should not be press, it should be info. I decided I'm not going to create a second email alias for press. Anyways, whatever. Okay, stuff like that. Then I went over to like the Godkiller main page, and just anything that was just kind of wrong I threw away. And maybe I screwed a few things up. Anyways, there's website updates. There's like some content that I don't really want to be at the very top anymore, so I pushed it down. So I did some website updates. I wrote a job listing. I'm checking with one person who I think is probably the best person to do it. It's a marketing associate that would handle the pre-launch campaign for the Godkiller, which basically means hitting up Reddit and just a regular patrol of different places where you can post screenshots or animated GIFs, that kind of thing. And I've done a fair amount of research on like what's needed to have a successful Steam launch. It's actually pretty important to have a successful Steam launch just to be on Steam and not be buried in obscurity. So you get about 3 days from the launch to show that, whoa, a lot of people are interested in this game. So there's a campaign that needs to start about now to drum up interest in the game and get people to wish list it, and to, like, even if I didn't care that much about the initial sales on the first week for their own sake, if my goal is simply to not drop into obscurity on the Steam website and be buried, I got to make a good showing in the first 3 days or so. So the way to do that is you kick up a marketing campaign around now, 299 days away, and you see if you can drum up some attention for the game. So that is the main thing that I'm trying to get going now. As soon as I've got that started, as soon as I've got my Steam pages up, I guess I'll demo what I have on this now. I mean, just to give you an idea, like all the stuff you have to do on the Steam page. But as soon as I got this up, the Steam page up, as soon as I have like this marketing associate type person helping me out, I'll go back to like the next more development style tasks that need to be done. So, there's all this stuff you got to fill out. Links to different social networks. Supported platforms. This one would have been really hard, but I thought of there's one game that worked kind of crummy on one computer I had and kind of good on a different computer, and I thought I will just take its stats because I think they're about the same. It was Abduction, the Cyan game, and I just, for now, I put down the same thing that they had because I thought it seems like my game is about as much of a resource hog as theirs. So thanks, Cyan. I owe you something. Supported languages, all this information about the game. Does it have controller support? Okay, and there's your description of the game. And this is a confusing page. They could do better in explaining this, but you basically write a long and a short description of the game. Let's see, ratings. I gave myself a self-rating for Brazil, and that was a little bit tough, to be honest. And then I gave instructions on I don't know. I fit all different things that were saying like what Steam might have problems with or what their reviewers should look at and things like that. Early access I'm not doing. I feel like it's just a scam. It's embarrassing to me to take money from someone to try out a game that's not done yet. I always thought it was just a minor disgrace for someone to do early access. Just wait till you're done. Let's all have a little dignity about what we're putting out there in the world. I'm sure there's arguments for it. Graphical assets. This I have nothing. I have nothing done on it. There's a fair amount I need to do here. And I know I can put some stuff together. I might even do that on this session. I'm not sure. Trailers. The trailer is supposed to be a big fucking deal. The trailer is really supposed to be something you worry about a lot. So I got to think about, do I want to put up a quick trailer and then replace it later, or do I want to sort of wait until I have like a really good trailer and then put that up? Do I want to... I don't know. That one I got to think about. Special settings. I don't know about that stuff. At some point I'll have to do Steam integration with the game too, I think. So yeah, all that kind of stuff. There was also some labels that I put in there, that was interesting too. I do have to admire Steam's label selection process. They guide you through it really well. And there's even a thing where they say, go ahead and prioritize your 20 or so labels to... see if I can bring up that page. It's interesting. It's actually a pretty interesting page. Let me see if I can get to it. I was there before. Where are my labels? Which page is that on? Is it basic info? Genres, I said adventure and indie. Tags. Now let's see these tags. Is it gonna... If I just bring up this page. I do not want to redo this though. Anyways, here's like the tags I picked. Adventure, puzzle. Then you got subgenres: exploration, roguelite, turn-based tactics. I didn't like I didn't like all the options they had there, and that's just always been my trouble with all these portals. Is that I always feel like my game is unique enough that there are not enough or the right labels to express it. I did like seeing grid-based movement. The themes and moods selection of labels was pretty good. And then the fun part at the end of this, after you select them all, and I'm not going to go through it again because if I hit begin, it may erase the choices already made. It has you prioritize the labels. And what I found is that the selection of games that appeared underneath would start to put in games that were comparable to mine based on the labels that I actually liked if I prioritized the labels in a good way. If I Logic was I figured almost top 3, so I pulled it way up to the top because I really wanted people to understand it's like a logic puzzle solving type game. And when I did that, immediately like Portal 2 popped in that list of comparable games underneath. I moved up what'd I move up? Dark Humor I moved up, and some other games came in. I'm like, those games look like ones I actually want to play. So I have to give Steam some credit for having a pretty nice label system. And it does seem like the labels that you choose are a pretty good way to find other games that match your preferences pretty well. All right, so I've been populating the Steam store. What else have I done recently? This is all meant to be something of a demo, I guess. Like I said, my demos these days might be a little suckier because I'm doing like some business stuff. All right, so let's leave that alone for now and show the other thing I did. So I went into the audio project for the We Got the Knife song, and I put markers next to every point in the audio that correspond to lyrics. So this part where there's a marker at the top that says that all your pieces, its position corresponds in the audio. That all your pieces. With the same bit that goes along with that. Okay. Now from there, I can just export all of these. I haven't tried this yet, or I didn't do it with all the full tags, to a CSV file. Then I open this thing. And this is a very easily parsable file. Like I can write the code to parse this in probably in about a half hour. You know what? That's what I'm going to do with this session. I'm going to write the code to parse. So why do this? Because these are the timings for when subtitles should appear, and also the corresponding lip animations, which are actually in a separate little data structure, should be applied. I experimented with using a Unity timeline with custom clip types, following some instruction from a stream chatter named Cicada, who is often very, very helpful. He definitely knows a lot. And then Razophone kind of helped me with that too a little bit yesterday on the stream. And the conclusion I came to is it's not gonna give me what I want exactly, or probably would, but like it feels brittle, it feels risky, and not very productive. So inside of this particular program, Audition, I'm extremely productive just because I've trained myself up on it. So it's not hard for me to go inside here and add these markers. And I also need these markers for a totally different task, which is chopping up all the dialogue bits into individual one per line clips. I need those clips so I can take them into the lip animation editor and specify phoneme positions that cause the lip animation stuff to work out. So it works better for my flow to do all this marking inside of Adobe Audition and export to CSVs. So yeah, I think in this session I'm going to just see if I can just write a quick parser for that CSV stuff. And I've already been doing a fair amount of work today, writing like a little job description for the marketing associate and doing website updates and stuff like that. So just to have something that's maybe mildly stream worthy, I'm going to work on just writing a parser for that CSV file. And I suspect it's not going to be a big deal. I suspect that. I will up my estimate though, and so I'll say instead of 30 minutes, I'm going to predict that it takes me an hour. Let's start the clock at 6:40. I won't do anything until I see it flip over to 6:40, and then I'll start working. I'll see if I can finish it in an hour. And if I can, I'll be really happy. I'll be really happy. You'll be amazed at this idiot that gets happy over things like meeting arbitrary goals. I'm still waiting. It's still on 6:39. I'm waiting for it. There it goes. Okay, I'm off. Gonna write a parser. Gonna write a parser. Gonna write a parser. All right, let's rename this to, let's call it, We Got the Knives. Line timing CSV dot bytes. The bytes is so that the friggin' asset loader will work correctly. All right, let's take this into I'll take the bytes off though, because if I put it in streaming assets, it won't need bytes on the end. Okay, I'll put it in streaming assets for now. So I just wasted a precious 20 seconds of time with that decision. Let's get another Finder window open. I always like to have two Finder windows open. The one on the left, I tend to make it my from view, and the one on the right, I tend to make it my to view. Helps me keep things straight. So let's see, let's go GK assets, streaming assets. What do I got here? Gestures, level thumbs, metadata, preprocess. This might deserve a new folder. Call it song timings. Okay, and then we'll just move this baby over here, and I'll even rename this one more time. since I already have it in something called song timings. Here, let's rename this again. Let's call it. You know what? I'm going to say timelines. It's almost a rebuke to Unity, meaning I got my own timelines now. I don't need your timelines. I got my timelines. Okay. So then we need to go to path util, which is my centralized location for all the different paths. We'll create another one. Timelines. File system path. Okay. Maybe let's not be so general. I can say this is going to be a speech timeline. And that's probably going to help me out a little bit. Okay. Let's just start out. I'll write the parser. I'll need some kind of event though, so it's going to be just. I've already got a speech event, but could I reuse that there? That would be kind of cool. I think I could. I think I could. Okay. So it's going to be list speech event events. So let me take a look at this file format. So the first line it's going to be field names always. All right. So let's just split this into two lines first. What? Okay, we can do a car. Okay. And then first line we want to skip over. And then you take each line, you split it again. So we'll say string tokens equals line split. And this is a tab character. We're just going to split by tab. Not lines, line. We're just splitting one line. Oh wait, no, lines, line I. There we go. Okay. Now, let's put some constants in so that it's more readable. So we'll say name call start call. I already know what the hardest task is here. It's going to be parsing those time values. Permission call, and then let's call this it's confusing to call it a line because we already have lines here. Let's change this to rows. And that will allow me to use the word line without it being ambiguous which one I mean. And I might as well call this something better. Let's call it fields. And this can be line call. All right, I want to pass into this character. And let's also pass in scene name. All right, so the easiest one. Let's see, return events. The easiest one is the line. That one doesn't need any further parsing. Okay, then we'll say float start time equals parse time fields start call operation. Okay, parse time. It's going to look like that. Now let's take a look at what it's passing. Okay, we've got minute, second, milliseconds. All right, so what does that? What does that look like? As a float, it'll look like 3 times 60 is 180, plus 15 is 195.464. So that would be like a unity time value, seconds, a float expressing seconds. Don't do it that way. Okay, so let's see. Let's look for, let's assume we're going to find one colon and one period. Now, someone could argue, well, it's capable of expressing an hour marker, so wouldn't you check for that? Yeah. None of the things I need to do are clips that are an hour or more. Everything is going to be at the most maybe 5 minutes tops, so I don't have to worry about parsing the hour. So we'll say int colon pos equals text index of colon. Okay. Oh yeah, it's just a that. You probably want, yeah, this thing. Okay. If colon pos equals -1, return 0f. Yeah, do uglier value. Const invalid value equals -1f. Okay. And decimal pos equals text index of. Yeah, I guess I could start after the colon just to make it a little bit more performant. I suppose that might help some tiny little bit. All right. All that. Just curious. Yeah. God, Writer's good. It really is. It knows that if it comes down here, it's always going to be false. And that's some kind of logic error on my part. All right. So then I might do this the long way just to more easily check for off by 1 errors. So let's do minutes text equals text substring 0 to colon pos, which is a good length, I think, to pass there. String seconds text equals text substring colon pos +1. And here's where it starts to get into like I might screw up on the and do a one-off error. Pretty sure that's not quite right, so let's check. So in this example, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can say that the colon pos would be 1. Decimal would be 4. 4 minus 1 is 3. That's off by 1, so just subtract 1 more. Okay. And then milliseconds. Decimal pos +1. Okay. Then we gotta convert all of these. So we'll say float value equals I forget, what is it? Is it int parse? Yes. And it's text times 60. And like I said, I'm writing this out the long way so I can walk through it once and check the values along the way. Okay, so seconds text. Oh, stop it, stop it. Huh. Suppose if I want to be a little bit tricky, I could... No, this is good enough. Okay. Okay, return value. Okay. So that's probably good. Okay, next. Speech ID equals speech file path, get speech ID, and then what do you want? You want character name and line. Oh, you're gonna, okay, you're just gonna check the active scene when I call you. Okay, character name and line. Let's just assign a character name up here. I guess I don't really need the scene name. Hopefully it's not an inefficient call to check the active scene and get the name each time. It might be though, I'd rather not. I'd rather not. I'd rather not do something inefficient that's easily avoidable. So if I say string scene name got two ways to call this. And this one can just be like syntactic sugar. What? What? Oh, the name. Okay. I see a function that's no longer called. Gonna delete it. If I really need it, I can get it back. Okay, and you are no longer being called by anybody. I don't think that's gonna be true in a second. So let's come back to here. Let's put the scene name back in. And let's put this, okay, so this is going to be CSV text. No, let it be. Okay, so there's the speech ID. Now I need to make a new speech event. I always forget. There's like a compact way to write this, and I always forget it. All right, maybe it's just like that. Okay. So what are the things I can set? Just pull all this stuff in. Okay, character. Why would you not just, put in the parameter? Okay. Line equals line. Again, why would you not just put in the local variable called line? Are you going to keep doing this on each one? I'll forgive you, because, writer, you've done more good things for me than bad. But this is annoying. I think it's all right. All right, that helps a little bit. Okay, speech clip equals speech manager. S, and only if it's not null, we will get a clip for the character and the line. Okay. And what else? Start time and end time. Coming down the home stretch here. Okay, let me add this to the events list that gets returned by the function. All right. So that is the parser, but still needs to load from a file. I think I can make this a static class and be real smug about that. Okay, for this one, I think I'll just find some other code that already does this thing that I'm interested in doing. Is there... Oh, I know why it's load from text. Okay. Let's see, where's the other one? Is it in hands? Hands value too. There we go. That one. Okay. Oh, need to know scene name and character as well. Okay, now I would like to be able to run this from the editor. That makes it real simple and easy to test it out, to play and unplay a lot. Let me think, best way to do that, let's just make a menu item. This will be Godkiller, bam, test, timeline parse. Okay, and the scene name will be Deathbox. I could do the, here, let's just do scene management. There's one thing I don't like about this. Hold on, what? Okay, what are you complaining about? Okay. Let's do this. String speech clip equals null. If speech manager s equals not equals default, get rid of this. What? What is your complaint? Oh. Oh yeah. Yeah, you actually want a speech clip. There we go. What? It will be used, don't worry. Okay, the other thing that was bugging me to do, pass scene name. because I know that this code that's in here is going to look up the active scene name, and if for whatever reason a scene name was passed in here that was different, well, that's going to fail. That will fail. So let's not do that. Okay. And then the character will be whatever character. Let's do list speech event. Speech events equals load, and then it's going to be path util I better do a separate line for this. Okay, string path equals we got the knives CSV. I think that's right. I'll check it in a second. Path scene name character the maw. Alright, and just add one more line down here so that like execution, when it comes back, it's got some place to go. I can still look at things instead of it going right to the exit. Okay. I think this has a 22% chance of working the first time I try it. I'm going to double check the name of the file. Okay, so it's going to be streaming assets, timelines. We got the knives CSV, initial caps. Cool. I will never use var. I like to be explicit. Okay, test the timeline parse. Is it running in the debugger? It was not. Oh, glad I turned that on. Here we go. There's the scene name. There's the path. Let's get into the meat of it. Oh, good, it loaded. Okay, so if I look at this, I can all see that RN thing there. It might make sense to like trim the white space off the ends of the rows as I read them in, particularly if later on I want to read a field that's off to the right. Okay, then we get into the real parsing here. Okay, how many rows? 56, that's a good number. That sounds about right. If I look through them, yeah. Oh, little nothing, you have strayed. Oh, little nothing, you are afraid. They're all there. There's one extra one at the end. I'll have to remember to skip that one. Also, I think I wanted to skip the ones that had like a asterisk, not an asterisk, ampersand at the beginning. Like they would be certain commands. Okay. So I do know that this is going to fail on the very last line. But I want to, on this run, see how many things are wrong and just kind of fix them efficiently. Okay, it's going to skip the first row. Good. Now let's look at the fields for the second row. 6, that's looking pretty nice. Okay, so this is the one that I should throw out, the start one. Let me make a list off in this other document about the stuff to fix. Okay, skip rows with skip rows with less than X columns. End row. Okay. Trim white space off of rows. Maybe I should just say the fields. Take a look at this file again. I like that it didn't put quotes around everything. It gave me less work to do as a result. Yeah, let's say just the rows, because there could in theory be like some field values. Now trim the or the R off end of row. Okay, that would do it. That would do it. That would be the safest way to do it. Okay, so then let's go back to the timeline and keep going. Okay, so the line, this is going to be the ampersand one. Start time, it's going to be like 0. Oh, I went right through the parse. It correctly said 0. I do like that. Now let's look at the text here. Okay, so the duration on this one is 0. Oh, they're all going to be duration 0. Is that true? Yeah. Okay, that makes it slightly trickier. It means that I need to use the, I need to add a little extra logic. I'll say if the duration is 0, we will get the start time of the next row and use that to provide the duration. I think I can do that on a second pass. Okay. For 0 values on duration, set duration to time between start times. Okay. Good. All right, let me just look at these. So minutes text, I expect to be 1 0. Seconds, 2 zeros. MSEX text, 3 zeros. Okay, that's good. That's perfect. The first, I mean, this will all be 0. Okay. So far, so good. Speech manager will not be loaded at edit time. Okay, all that's pretty good. This is a real nice first run. Like most everything is working as it should on the first try. Let's see if we can get a better speech ID here. Yeah, and that one actually matches up to the speech ID assigned to one of the LIPS files. So if Speech Manager had started up it would have loaded in all of the audio files and lips files, and this next line would probably return the right speech clip for that particular line. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty good so far. In fact, I know it's going to crash at the end of it. So let's just go up one. Yeah, it would have failed on the very last row. Okay. So now I get to fix the problems I saw. Shouldn't be too bad. Let's take the row. Let's say string row equals rows row I, and I'm just gonna just run trim on it. To chop or off end of line. Okay, and this we'll say it's just the row. Okay, and we'll say we could be more consistent. Yeah. Okay, we'll say that if field's length is less than the minimum field count, we'll just continue. Okay, what else? What else? What else? Fix that. Fix that. Oh, skipping the rows with the ampersand. Okay. Okay, all these are fixed, and this I'll do next. So this one I think is easier to do after they've all been parsed. And I've got the idea that depending on what type of export I do from Audition, there may or may not be a duration associated with the clip. So I'm going to say that if there's no duration associated, I will come back and add my own. So we'll say float. Huh. Okay, easiest way to do this is just go through the rows again. I think I can do event I on this one. Event I is less than events count. That last event on the end is actually kind of useful. So there's one at the end, which I'm currently with my code now filtering out, but it would be needed. It would be needed to learn the duration. All right, I got it. So I thought I was going to do it in the second pass, but I'll do it in the first pass before it's filtered out. So if duration equals 0f, and I can even make this simpler. Let's do end time equals start time plus duration. No, dang it. Okay, so this must be duration. But we'll also need an end time. Okay. So we've got and row I less than rows length minus 1. So I don't want to call this on the very last thing because there's nothing to check on the next row. We'll say, oh yeah, I got to do this stupid thing too. If mathf approximate, what? Come on. No, I didn't know mathf was Unity Engine. Approximately duration 0f. We say string next row equals rows row I plus 1. Okay, and then we just split this again. String next fields equals this. Okay. And float, let's see, let's just say end time equals parse time fields, oops, next fields, start time. Okay, I think that fixes it all. Let's see. The other thing I should do, just for consistency, to keep it from getting stupid. There we go. Let's try it out. Okay, first test of this new functionality here. Good. By the way, I feel like it ought to be possible to just say if float value equals 0f without doing this approximately business, because the way it's stored in that IEEE 790, whatever that fucking thing is, it's just all 0 bits. So you should be able to compare against that. The compiler should be smart enough to figure that out. Okay, what's end time now? Nice. Nice. Bam. Let's look at this event. It's looking quite good. I see everything I wanted. Everything. Every last thing. Okay. Now, let's see if I can step up one level in execution. I can. Let's return. Let's take a look. It should be 54, something like that. 52. Okay. So I want to see the first and last lines for sure. That's correct. Yep, that's the last word, last line. I see the start time and end time. This is great. This is real good. Okay, that worked. And now I've got 3 minutes left on the clock to fix my to-do up here. I've got more time than that, don't I? I started at 6:40. Okay. Let's go to the speech manager. kind of like this form better. Force the caller to do a little work. Who's calling you, and can I just fix you to call it with the active scene name? Yeah, I can. So we'll pass in the scene name here. All right, then let's go back to Speech Manager and let's just delete the one that, well, let's use it to find the usage first. Okay. So let's active scene name. That's fine. So then we go back to Speech Manager and we'll just delete this version of the function. All right. Is everything still build? Okay, last little bit here, just delete that. And done. With seconds to spare, I did everything I set out to do within 1 hour. And I didn't do it in a shitty corner cutting way either. This is good code. This is production code. This is releasable code. I'm going to call that a session. I like ending on a good note. 7:40 right now. Okay. I claim victory. I'm going to stop the stream. If anyone's on hanging out, nice to have you around, even if you're lurking. I like to lurk sometimes. But I am going to stop the stream right now. I hope you have a good day. Yeah, catch you later. Stopping the stream now.